It's already a pretty busy morning here at the San Antonio International Airport ahead of Thanksgiving. Coming up on GMSA, what travelers can do to prepare and how the airport's getting ready.
Get ready for some near record highs today, then a cold front tomorrow, and then it gets busy over the weekend. There's a lot to talk about. We'll get into it all coming up on GMSA.
Coming up on GMSA, you're going to hear the story of the Collier couple. They tell me they survived the flood by floating down the river inside their home. But they say that's not the worst part. The worst part is now trying to find a new place to call home.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
All right, good morning to everyone out there. It's 6 o'clock and we are now, just 2 days away from Thanksgiving? The countdown is on to the turkey. Thank you very much for being with us. I'm RJ Marquez.
And I am Daphne Gray. And hey, the countdown is on for more weird weather patterns, I guess. I will say, but either way, walking out, you might need to grab a small jacket this morning.
I think part of it is this November has actually been pretty quiet, and this is a time of year where we would expect some of those roller coasters, and I think we're going to get some of that this week. So yes, if you're walking out the door right now, no, it's chilly out there. We got temperatures in the low 50s and 40s. Feels a little bit more like November. Thank you very much. And we've got clear skies, temperatures 51 at the airport. So we just dropped another degree, 52 in New Braunfels, 53 Converse, 45 in Boerne. What a difference from yesterday, right? Where we had muggy conditions and kind of damp conditions most of the day. A little bit of a breeze, so in theory, there could be a little bit of a wind chill in spots, too. Forecast for today. It is going to be a rapid warm-up. Yes, it is chilly this morning, but it does not stay that way. 76 noontime, and look at the high temperature, 84 today, which, if you were curious, is just going to be 2 degrees or so shy of a record. The record is 86. Set back in 1942. All right, coming up, we're going to take a look at some of the travel issues that we have around the country, plus we'll get you into that roller coaster ride and let you know what to expect for Thanksgiving and beyond. That's coming up here in just a couple minutes. Let's go over to your traffic authority, RJ Marquez, with a look at what's going on the roads.
All right, thank you very much, Justin. Top of our 6 o'clock hour, and things are pretty busy out there, despite the fact that we have got a lot of folks that are staying home because of the Thanksgiving holiday, and we also have all of our kiddos that are home from school. Right now, everything across the city is looking okay for the most part, but 66 minutes coming in from New Braunfels right now. That's because of ongoing construction taking place there. We also had a crash earlier over by 1604 and Judson Road, that caused a little bit of delays there for our drivers on the north side of town. Big delay right here, 410 Old Pearsall Road. Check that out. That's going to be Old Pearsall Road. Traffic now backing up all the way to the 410-35 interchange. Again, this is going to be affecting all of our folks that are making their way in the southwest side of town over Von Army, the Somerset Road area. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that situation. Also, keeping an eye on the northeast side. Again, we're going to swing back over here because we've got some pretty good delays right here. 30-minute delays. You're taking a look. That looks like the construction convoy that's making its way right now south past Live Oak, also south past the Topperwine area. That's our camera there at Olympia Parkway. So again, about a 30-minute delay right now for our folks in the northeast side of town. We'll continue to track the very latest and get you updated. Let's also check in with our photojournalist Alex Gomez, because we're hearing about another incident that may cause some major concern for our drivers out there. So if we have Alex in drive cam, let's go to him. Alex, what's the very latest? What are you headed to right now?
Yeah, good morning, RJ. So it's a new crash in the downtown area on Frio Street. It sounds like there was a bus crash where there's a downed power line on Frio Street, not too far away from Haven for Hope. So I'm going to go check out that area. In the meantime, I'm coming there from the southeast side on I-37. And the highways over here, I-37 and 410, are still looking pretty good on this side of town, RJ.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll check back in with Alex on that crash in the downtown area. Well, 2 San Antonio probationary officers have now been fired after the department is still sorting through the fallout now from both separate drunken incidents. So Officers Cora Crocker was let go back on October 27th. This was just a day after police say that she showed up visibly intoxicated, hit a man in a parking lot, and then was booked on a misdemeanor family assault charge. A few days later, probationary officer Giselle Lopez Chavez, see a photo right there, was also terminated after officers detained her for public intoxication and took her to a sobering unit. And then today, the department's still reviewing how a photo of Lopez Chavez holding up her middle finger outside that facility made it onto social media without their knowledge. SAPD says that they only recently learned of this photo, and KSAT could find no record that Lopez Chavez was ever criminally charged in that incident as that internal review continues.
All right, we got a local family filing a federal civil rights lawsuit against the Guadalupe County Sheriff's Office and one of its deputies, stemming from a deadly shooting more than a year ago. Kenneth Graham's family says that his death shows why officers need better training to handle mental health crisis.
He has Alzheimer's, he has dementia, he does not know what's going on.
Body camera video that you're seeing right there come from August 27, 2024. It's showing the moments before 77-year-old Kenneth Graham was shot and killed by a Guadalupe County deputy. Graham's family told the deputy that he did suffer from Alzheimer's and dementia, and they called 911 because he had cut his arm and was becoming agitated. Well, the video shows Graham dropping a frying pan when asked, then picking up a knife and refusing to put it down. As Graham stepped forward with the cane, the deputy fired.
He literally only gave my father-in-law 8 seconds to respond.
If he would have had a taser, he could have used that. There was no crisis intervention training officers to come out. This is a total failure.
More than a year later, the family has filed a federal civil rights lawsuit against the sheriff's office and Deputy Gary Courtney. A lawsuit claiming deputies did not carry tasers at the time and lacked some training for mental health crisis. The sheriff's office not commenting, citing the legal process, but records do show that deputy remains with the department.
Well, this morning, we're still working to get records from a blood draw from Councilwoman Ivelisse Mesa Gonzalez, who avoided a driver's license suspension following her DWI arrest. Now, court records show a motion to dismiss her administrative license revocation case was granted last week. This incident goes back to July when Mesa Gonzalez was pulled over by SAPD on I-10 after leaving a downtown club. Police reported that she had watery eyes, slurred speech, and the odor of alcohol on her, and she also refused breath or blood test. Her criminal case was refiled back in September, alleging a blood alcohol level of at least 0.15.
Good morning, I'm Devin Karp, live over here at the San Antonio International Airport, where we just finished seeing the early morning rush heading out for a number of 6 a.m. flights that are just taking off now. But that's just the beginning of the iceberg, because there's going to be more than 360,000 flights happening across the country for one of the busiest travel seasons that the TSA has seen. So when it comes to going ahead before Thanksgiving, you're going to want to prepare. Locally at the San Antonio International Airport, they expect about a 10 to 15% increase of passengers flying over the 10-day holiday travel period. That's going to mean about 300,000 to 400,000 people coming through the airport. So there's going to be long lines and shortage of parking most likely. So if you're going to head this way, make sure to get here at least 2 hours early before your flight. Figure out where you're going to park ahead of time and make sure to check in with your airline before you actually get here.
We'll have a lot of operational movements on both Tuesday and Wednesday, early in the morning and late in the evening. And then on the Sunday return at the end of this week, we'll have a lot of people coming back on Sunday.
Now, when you head out here for your flight, make sure that you check in with your individual airline and on their apps. That's a really great way to tell what's going on over there. But if you want to use another tool, this is something new that we learned about this morning. This is called Flight Aware. It's their misery tracker. It pulls up on their phone. It looks something like this. You can see in real time what the weather is actually looking like across the country, how that's affecting flights, cancellations, delays, and which airports are getting the most affected. If you take a look at the map right now, so far, we're mostly in the green with only about 15 delays and 1 cancellation happening across the country. Not too bad before we see quite a few million travelers going around the United States. If you need more information, we've got it up online for you, ready to go at KSAT.com. In the meantime, hope you make your flight. Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you very much, Devin. Well, let's take you to parts of Harris County here. This is north of Houston, where people there will be picking up the pieces after this tornado damaged more than 100 homes. Check this out. The National Weather Service confirmed that tornado touched down yesterday. The threat isn't over, though. Conditions remain favorable for more severe thunderstorms as the cold front moves through that part of the region. Meanwhile, that powerful line of storms is now tearing through other parts of the south. Look at that video right there. During the busiest Thanksgiving travel rush in 15 years. If you're traveling by air, brace for crowds and possible delays in Mississippi and Tennessee. The FAA expects 52,000 flights today. It says that they are fully staffed, though, as airports recover from the government shutdown. Right now, San Antonio International Airport's here at home reports very few delays at this hour. And Attorney General Ken Paxton, for some Texas news, is suing another state agency over rules that he says discriminates on religious grounds. This time it affects the Texas Department of Housing and Community Development. As it stands, organizations that receive state funds to help homeless people or support housing programs through the department are not permitted to engage in religious activities within those programs. That's something that the AG Paxton says is unconstitutional, saying in part, quote, state agencies have no authority to force Christians and other religious organizations to censor their beliefs just to serve their communities, end quote. The Housing Department did not comment on this lawsuit.
Outside with live cam at 6:09, 51 degrees this morning. A little chilly out there. We got clear skies in San Antonio. Busy weekend, though, coming up. We've got a front, we've got an area of low pressure, and we've got rain chances. We'll show you what we're thinking as far as forecast goes. Coming up.
He comes in running, saying
we're flooding.
Yeah, we're flooding. Get your clothes on.
Water rising to their waist, furniture floating, 911 unreachable. KSAT reporter Patty Santos with the couple's terrifying story during the Hill Country floods and the rescue they didn't think would come.
And high fives, cheers, and water stations. Volunteering at the San Antonio Marathon isn't just helping runners. It might just push you across the finish line yourself. We're going to show you how to get into the action coming up next.
A local real estate expert explains why the home values that you get from those online home listings are different from what you get from the tax appraisal district or an actual realtor. We have that story coming up. Hey there, I'm Patty Santos. Well, this Thanksgiving, an Ingram couple is grateful to be alive and glad for the community help that's gotten them closer to a new start. But there are many families like them that will not be spending the holiday at home.
The ride going down the river was terrifying. The ride afterwards, terrifying.
Cindy and Ken Collier were only 2 years away from retirement with a home and cars paid off. On July 4th, they lost the home along the Guadalupe River that Cindy had lived in since she was 18 years old.
It's hard when someone says, what do you need? Well, if your whole house got wiped away, think what would you need? You know, everything.
Since that day, she and other victims like them have been knocking on every door, asking for help getting important documents, temporary housing, and money to start a new life.
Yeah, everybody has a story. Yeah, it's a very traumatic story.
The Colliers wanted to meet us here at the Kerrville Cross, where there are small wooden crosses with the names of flood victims.
Is that Julian Ryan?
Yep, there he is.
Including their neighbor.
He's right there. I've known him since he was a little baby. Little boy, he played with my kids.
The Colliers look back in grief and forward with hope. Their home insurance helped them pay for land in Harper, Texas, where a donated mobile home is being brought in, and they will hopefully move in by the end of the year.
Don't forget about all these people. People are still in RVs. They still need help. And if you could donate money to Trinity Baptist Church for all these victims.
For the flood relief.
Yeah, many Hill Country churches like Trinity Baptist Church are still taking in donations. You're going to find a link to them on KSAT.com. The Colliers say they just need a few $1,000s more, but their retirement has been put off. Patty Santos, we'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Patty. So your home value is critical information if you're thinking of buying or selling your property. Well, you can get that info from the tax appraisal district, and some real estate marketplace websites also have it. But before you go through that route, a real estate expert tells our Pachata Pope that there's more that you need to know.
Looking to buy or sell a home? Those online real estate marketplaces like Zillow could help you get an idea as to how much a home is valued.
This article, recently published by Zillow, reported 53% of U.S. homes lost value in the past year. This is based on Zillow's Zestimate tool. And according to that article, last year, 1.3% of the homes in the San Antonio metro area saw valuations drop by 5% or more below the price of what the home was last bought for. This year, the number of houses in the San Antonio area valued below what they last sold for is 4.5%. Veteran real estate expert Katie Ross says Zillow's conclusion doesn't have all the facts.
Zestimate is not necessarily always accurate. In Texas, we are a non-disclosure state. And what that means is that Our prices are not reported to Zillow.
Ross is a chairperson for LIRA MLS, a real estate network that provides industry professionals access to multiple listing service or MLS data in several Texas regions.
They are using an algorithm to try to come up with what they believe the accurate value is. The resources that are online, they may work in other areas of the country, but Texas is our own country, and non-disclosure is a thing here.
Ross says other details need to be considered when it comes to home values.
They're not looking at the amenities of your home. So if you have a 3-car garage and your neighbor has a 2-car garage, they're not taking that into consideration. So a realtor will come through and they will look at the amenities of your particular property and try to compare it to other recent sales and give you a value that justifies the benefits of what your home offers.
Pashada Pope, KSAT 12 News.
Yeah, good morning. So this is going to be the scene of a downtown crash that happened, and it looks like it involved a VIA bus right here that almost hit the building right here. This is going to be on the corner of Morales and North Medina, not too far away. This is just on the corner of Frio Street as well. So it looks like we do have emergency crews here on scene, and the early reports indicated that there was a downed power line. I do see a power line right here that's pretty much slanted, SAPD guarding that pretty good. And then again, if you go a little bit further down onto just next to the sidewalk, we do have that VIA bus and another smaller vehicle that looks like they may have collided over here in this area. So just know that Frio Street is going to be open to only one lane in both directions, but a heavy first responder presence out here just to make sure that everybody was able to get off of that bus, and even people who are inside that car, just to make sure that everything was all right. So I'm going to see if I can talk to maybe a fire command, maybe an SAPD sergeant to get more details. But this is what the scene looks like right here. And again, heavy police presence very close to Haven for Hope and Frio Street.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Alex. And let's come back out to maps again. We'll continue to follow that. That's going to be a situation right there. So a little bit past downtown at the Y, a little bit north of Commerce Street. So as Alex says, covering that incident for us on the west side of town, looks like that could affect not only some of the power usage out there, but hopefully those folks are okay in that crash. Okay, 410 Old Pearsall Road, traffic starting to clear out here for all of our drivers headed northbound, but we're still seeing a pretty good delay, about 45-minute delay for all of our folks coming up 410 at 35 on the southwest side of town, going to be affecting all of our drivers over by Quintana Road and obviously the Somerset area of Von Army. Quick check here at our traffic delays on the northeast side of town. Major delays here, 45 minutes to an hour if you're going to go through Live Oak all the way to Randolph Boulevard. So we will continue to track everything on the roads. Let's head over to our Weather Authority meteorologist Justin Horn for the very latest forecast.
Thank you. Grab a coat this morning as you walk out the door. Temperatures are in the low 50s here in San Antonio. Not cold, but chilly. We've got 40s in the hill country, so a cool start, yes, but look where we end up this afternoon, 84. Pretty impressive numbers across the area, and this is going to be close to a record, as we pointed out. The record today is 86, so an incredible warm-up. That has everything to do with the fact that we have low humidity today, and you get those big swings in temperature. But tomorrow, well, a very different story, because we get a front that comes through right around sunrise, and that means high temperatures tomorrow are only around 67. So there's your back and forth. Don't get caught off guard. Chilly this morning, warm this afternoon, chilly again tomorrow. These are your highs for your Wednesday. And also note there will be some gusty winds. These are winds overnight starting to pick up, and then we'll see gusts probably peaking tomorrow morning, somewhere 30 to 35. And then those winds will eventually fall off as we get into Wednesday evening, but a windy day for your Wednesday. Thanksgiving's close to perfect, probably the best day we have in our extended forecast, so that works out well. 68 degrees, mostly sunny, chilly morning, but a nice afternoon. And then from there, things get a little more dicey. So this is Friday. Clouds start to fill in. We get some energy coming in from the west. We get an overrunning situation. So typically that means cloudy skies, maybe a few sprinkles. We'll see that again Saturday. And then as we get into Sunday, a frontal boundary gets close. We get an upper level low. That can mean some showers and maybe even some storms. Temperatures will kind of be all over the place this weekend and going into next week, where we think things will get a little chillier. So just stay tuned for that forecast, because we do think it'll be active Saturday through Monday. In the meantime, there's your cool down tomorrow. Windy on your Wednesday, 68 Thursday, 62 Friday. And right now we're going to go 60s and 70s this weekend.
All right, thank you very much, Justin. 6:22 right now, 52 degrees outside.
An NFL drug test that could have ended a career instead of saved a life. Denver Broncos linebacker Alex Singleton opens up about how the results led to an early cancer diagnosis and why he's sharing his story.
All right, your Just Ask Justin question today has to do with the NFL. I want to know, which NFL team has played the most Thanksgiving Day games? Is it Dallas, Green Bay, Chicago, or Detroit? You can vote KSAT.com/poll.
SAPD Special Victims Unit hard at work this morning after arresting the man that you see right here. A pediatrician arrested over the weekend for aggravated sexual assault of a child. The department's called to action for more possible victims to come forward. Plus, what does Facebook and this Hershey's chocolate have in common? Well, let's just say a too good to be true scenario that has a lot of people salty. We talk about that holiday shopping alert that you don't want to fall for.
Ready for some near record highs today, then a cold front tomorrow, and then it gets busy over the weekend. There's a lot to talk about. We'll get into it all coming up on GMSA.
It's already a pretty busy morning here at the San Antonio International Airport ahead of Thanksgiving. Coming up on GMSA, what travelers can do to prepare and how the airport's getting ready.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
And I know traffic is a big top of the mind for a lot of people right now. 6:30 right now, 51 degrees.
That's right. So let's go ahead and start with Alex Gomez. You see that shot where he is at the scene of an accident on the west side of town where it looks like we have some type of Via bus that potentially slammed into some other accident out there. So let's go to Alex with the very latest.
Yeah, good morning, RJ, and that's exactly what happened. It looks like there was a collision with the Via bus in the smaller SUV right here. So it happened along Haven for Hope Way, and I can tell you that this is not too far away from Frio Street. Frio Street remains open, but you can see first responders just arrived to the scene. They've been here actually for about maybe now 20-25 minutes, and they're just making sure that everything is safe because we do even have a downed power line right here, right in the middle of Morales Street. But we do have CPS crews on scene just making sure that the power is off and everybody is at a good distance right here. So I'm going to get some more details from fire and possibly an SAPD sergeant. But right now, I cannot give you any information on if anybody was on that bus or if anybody was hurt. That's what I'm working on right now. But just know that Morales Street that leads into Frio is going to be closed down right now, RJ.
All right, thank you very much for that update, Alex. And yes, we will continue to gather more information out there on the scene and see if this is affecting maybe some CPS Energy customers as well. So that's going to be on the west side of town. Let's come back out to the maps. Thank you very much. And this is going to be that area right there off of Frio. So not affecting all of our traffic on the highways. You take a look there at Martin Street, but this is going to be affecting more of our neighborhood traffic around Morales Street, as Alex just mentioned. Obviously, this area by Frio, a little bit north of Commerce Street as well. So be careful if you're headed out in that area. You're going to see some flashing lights and some police activity out there. The rest of the city, everything is looking pretty good with the exception of 74 minutes coming in from the Braunfels area. That's going to be our biggest delay at the moment, 35 south. So we'll talk about that coming up in just a bit. Again, we have got a lot of folks that are out of work today. We've got the kiddos also home from school for the Thanksgiving break. But let's give you an update on the situation. 410 on the southwest side, Old Pearsall Road, traffic starting to clear out after an accident that had blocked at least 2 main lanes, 410 north. So we're good to go there. That's going to be over by Quintana Road, obviously Somerset Road on the southwest side for all of our drivers there. And let's take you back to the northeast side of town. Again, we're looking at about an hour delay for all of our folks coming down Olympia Parkway, past Live Oak, past Topper Wine, and head over to Randolph Boulevard. So this is a stretch that we're monitoring at the moment. This is all construction related. No accidents out there, just continuing construction out there for all of our drivers on the northeast side. We will continue to track all of it. Also give you a check on the northwest side coming up in just a little bit. But let's go to Justin with the very latest on today's forecast. Justin.
Thank you. A glow on the horizon this morning. Sunrise is around 7:07, so we're still about 40 minutes away, but boy, soak that in. That is nice. We've got clear skies, comfortable temperatures, 51 degrees right now here in San Antonio, 52 New Braunfels, 53 Converse, 45 in Bernie, just the way you like it on a November morning. A lot better than yesterday anyway. Forecast for today, 63 at 9 o'clock, 10 a.m., 69. Now, I will tell you, it is going to be a warm afternoon. 76 by noontime. That is a rapid warm up. And we're expecting to be in the low to mid 80s today, which is Again, approaching record territory. It's just a one-day thing, though, because by tomorrow, temperatures go back down with a cold front, gusty winds 67 on your Wednesday. Thanksgiving will be close to perfect, 68 for a high. And then we get into some active weather, I think, as we get into Friday and the weekend with some rain chances to talk about. We'll fill you in on just when we think we may see some rain coming up in a couple minutes.
Thank you, Justin. Well, this morning, a call to action to anyone who might be a victim in this case right here. A San Antonio pediatrician, you see his picture right there, accused of sexually assaulting a 13-year-old boy during an annual checkup, is no longer employed at Central Med. Police arrested 50-year-old Gabriel Perez on Friday on a charge of aggravated sexual assault of a child. The Texas Medical Board said that it could not confirm, deny, or comment on any potential or pending complaints or investigations until action has been taken by the TMB in Perez's case. However, detectives believe that there may be additional victims. Anyone who believes that they may have been a victim or may know a victim in this case is urged to contact SAPD's Special Victims Unit.
All right, as we get closer to the holidays, SAPD and the city of San Antonio teaming up to stop mail thieves. Police say criminals are targeting mailboxes all across the area, especially the cluster boxes that you see at the different apartment complexes in certain neighborhoods. Now, they say crooks are putting in extra time to try to take all of your cards and packages, but SAPD says it's time to take people, make sure you don't have a Grinch in your life for Christmas. Now, SAPD says that make sure that you clear out your mailbox every day. Try not to share your mailbox key. Lastly, report any suspicious activity as well as thefts, both to SAPD and the U.S. Postal Service.
Good morning, I'm Devin Karp, live over here at the San Antonio International Airport, where we're waiting on the next round of flights to take off. But if you think there's a lot happening here, there's more than 360,000 flights that are going on across the country for one of the busiest Thanksgiving holiday travel seasons that we've seen. Over here at the San Antonio International Airport, they say they're expecting about a 10 to 15% increase of passengers flying over the next 10 days. That's going to be 300,000 to 400,000 people that are going to be going through the airport. So if you're coming over here for the holiday travel, there's a few things you're going to want to make sure you keep an eye out for. Try to get here at least 2 hours early before your flight. If you're flying domestically, that way you don't have to worry about security problems. Make sure you know where you're going to park before you get here, and be ready for some of the traffic that's going to come after the Thanksgiving holiday season, when everyone's coming right back over here into San Antonio.
We'll have a lot of operational movements on both Tuesday and Wednesday, early in the morning and late in the evening. And then on the Sunday return at the end of this week, we'll have a lot of people coming back on Sunday.
If you're traveling this week, make sure to get to the airport early for a smoother trip and check out some of the parkings. Now, you can always go to your airline's app like United or Southwest to see what they've got, but if you want to try something different, there's this new tool. It's called the Misery Map. You can take a look at the country, where everything is standing as far as what flights are being canceled, what's being delayed, where the weather is, and what airports are getting affected by this by the most. Taking a look at this right now, it seems like we're doing pretty good in the country so far, but we still have a lot of time left to go. If you need any of these details, we've got them up for you online at KSAT.com. In the meantime, Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you very much, Devin. Well, they thought that they were getting help, but people in San Antonio who signed up for city programs aimed at fixing their homes now have a long list of major issues with those repairs. Irene Talamantes told KSAT Investigates that workers left her Leal Street home with a faulty foundation, plumbing problems, and painted over the walls of her deceased son's room even after they were told not to.
The one thing my mom and I asked for was not to touch my son's room. I lost my son 5 years ago.
Well, tonight on the Night Beat, the director of the city's housing department weighs in on these complaints.
A holiday shopping alert this morning listed up Facebook ad promising 20 pounds of Hershey's Kisses for under $11, turning out to be anything but sweet. In fact, a lot of people salty about it this morning. Customers who clicked to buy say that they never got the chocolate. In fact, they got hit with an unexpected $81 charge for a book club they never signed up for. Experts say that if a deal looks too good to be true, it probably is. Next Wednesday, December the 3rd at 11 a.m., you can join KSAT Community Live for a town hall that could save you extra headache this holiday season. Speaking of those scams, we got you covered with trying to figure out how to avoid them. Our Stephanie Cerna and experts from RBFCU and the Better Business Bureau will be here to share how to protect yourself, recover from those scams, and spot the most common holiday tricks.
It is 6:38, 51 degrees outside with live cam. Clear skies, a beautiful sunrise underway. Could we reach a record high today? I know it doesn't feel like it right now, but the forecast calls for 84. The record is 86. It's only for one day, though, because changes arrive by tomorrow morning. We'll show you the ups and downs coming up.
All right, taking a quick check of traffic before we get you to break. Northeast side, very busy this morning. About a 45-minute delay making your way through Live Oak and Universal City. Downtown, seeing an accident involving a Via bus. And we'll check in on the northwest side in just a little bit. That accident just popped up over by Leon Valley by Bandera Road. Jeff?
Anticipating 18,000 plus registrations over the 3 events that we have.
From the 5K to the full marathon, volunteers are the heart of the San Antonio Marathon course, and some say giving back on race day might just get you off the couch and into your own shoes. We got more on that coming your way.
6:42, and the San Antonio Marathon now just 2 weeks away, and many runners here in our area getting ready for the big weekend. So San Antonio Sports hosting this inaugural San Antonio Marathon, which includes a Friday evening 5K under the lights, the expo, and then the half marathon and marathon on Sunday. But with all of these events, it takes thousands of volunteers to make it happen.
Come on down! Woo-hoo! You're giving back to the community and you're helping someone succeed. And you don't know, it could be the very first time somebody's running a marathon.
Heather Hepp knows the importance of having volunteers on a race route.
Free water!
She's been a volunteer for years, but she's also a runner.
It's so impactful that somebody who's affected my journey, I now have that opportunity to share that same experience with them on the other side of the water.
Heather is one of hundreds of volunteers who will be helping out at the inaugural San Antonio Marathon weekend. San Antonio Sports is hosting the weekend-long event, which includes a 5K, an expo, the half marathon, and the full marathon. And so far, they say the response has been tremendous.
We're anticipating 18,000 plus registrations over the 3 events that we have, our 5K, our half, and our full. And so just couldn't be happier about the support we've seen.
And with all those registrations, San Antonio Sports needs more volunteers.
We need quite a few more people to come out, help us at our 5K on Friday night. We need volunteers at the expo, and then at the finish line, which I think is the most rewarding place to volunteer as you see all those runners cross the line.
I think it's just really cool that we now have our own marathon.
Dan Andrews tells us that volunteering actually inspired him to run.
I hear that not only are you volunteering on Friday for the 5K, Saturday for the expo, you are also going to run on Sunday.
After volunteering a couple of years, I decided that seeing the people picking up their packets and things, if they could do it, I could do it. So about 4 years ago, I ran my first half marathon ever, and I've been running it every year since.
Well, of course, if you'd like to volunteer, you can get that information on the San Antonio Sports website. That's sanantoniosports.org. And if you're running the marathon, half marathon, or 5K during San Antonio Marathon Weekend, we want to hear from you. So KSAT is inviting runners to share their stories ahead of Marathon Weekend. And you can find that link, of course, on our website at ksat.com. So very exciting time, almost there.
I love it. I love it when you get a chance to do these stories that you're passionate about, because we see that passion that it kind of comes out on a screen where you give us that firsthand perspective of why people do this.
Well, yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting to meet everybody, you know, and get their stories firsthand, like the volunteers. And of course, yes, thank you to all the volunteers. I said this before. It would not be possible without them, and they really lift everybody's spirits up for sure.
Steph is ready to break some records.
Yes,
I'm ready to have a good time.
There you go. All right, Steph,
thank you, guys.
All right, guys, let's go to Alex right now because he's at the scene of a crash on the west side of town that may have involved potentially a Via bus. So, Alex, can you give us an update on what is going on out there?
Yeah, good morning, RJ, and that's correct. You can see the Via bus right there next to the building. This building is going to be the Center Care Clinic, and it's right off of Haven for Hope Way. And I was able to talk to SAPD, and they tell me that there were about 4 or 5 passengers on that bus. All minor injuries, though. We're talking bumps and bruises. Nobody's seriously hurt. There was even a driver in this smaller vehicle. He was dropping off his spouse, who was an employee at this clinic. And again, the same thing, just minor injuries to that individual as well. So right now we are in the cleanup process. I've been here for about half an hour now, a little over half an hour. And I can tell you that crews are just trying to just clean up the area. Now we have CPS crews, they're taking care of this support beam. At first it was initially thought it was a power line, but this is a support beam that actually holds up some of the cables. So no damage to any of the power in the area, but that's what's happening right now. We do have wreckers on scene, so just know that North Medina, that's headed into Frio Street, that's going to be completely closed, and Frio Street still has one lane open in both directions.
All right, thank you very much for that update, Alex Gomez, for us at the scene of this crash that involved one of these smaller via buses on the west side of town. So again, we'll continue to get more information out there, and thankfully it does not appear as if anyone was seriously hurt out there, but obviously a rough start to the morning for these folks. This is where that crash actually took place. So as Alex just mentioned, it's right there off of Frio Street on the west side of town, a little bit past downtown at the Y. So not affecting all of our major traffic there at 10 or anywhere coming up on 35. But again, you saw the police activity out there, and I just checked with the CPS energy outage map, and Alex is correct in saying that basically this is not affecting any outages, and everything should be okay in terms of the power out there for all of our folks on the west side of town. All right, 35 at Olympia Parkway. Let's take a look at the delays we're seeing right here. About a 45-minute delay for all of our folks that are making their way south right now. That's going to be our biggest issue, past Live Oak, past Tupper One, headed over to parts of Randolph Boulevard there as well. So 35 looking about a 45-minute delay out there for our folks, and everything else across the city is looking okay for the most part. But you know, we've been showing you some of these cameras out here in Gonzales, Texas, so far east from us, obviously past the Seguin area. Take a look at some of these visibility things that we're looking at out here. This is the Houston TransStar camera, so just again an indication of how far out some of these cameras that are run by Tex.go. There's a look at some of the activity out there in Gonzales. So just be safe. We know we got a lot of folks that are going to be hitting the roads later on, heading over I-10, coming back and forth from the Houston area as well. So let's check in with our weather authority meteorologist Justin Horn for a check of the forecast today.
Thank you, sir. And yes, there is a little bit of fog off to our east. Nothing here in San Antonio. I did want to show you a picture from our KSAT Connect from last night. This was down in Cuero. Quite a lightning show. There were some stronger storms down there after that front passed through San Antonio. We saw the coverage pick up around the Cuero area, a little closer to the coast. Great shot, Jen sent this in. We appreciate it. Didn't get much rain down there, but it was quite the lightning show. November high temperatures. This has been pretty interesting for in the 11th month out of the year. We've had a very warm month. So the orange boxes denote days in which we were above average. These are records. We've only had one day where we were below average, and that was November 10th. You average this all out. This is the second warmest November so far on record. Now, we will get some cooler temperatures in the coming days, but we'll see where this ends up. I still think we're probably top 5, at least top 10. Forecast for today, 55 at 8 o'clock, by 10 o'clock, 69. It'll be a rapid warm-up, 76 by noontime, and a high temperature today of 84. After morning lows in the 40s and 50s, yes, we will make the 80s today. But just a one-day thing, because we've got a front coming through tomorrow morning. I'm going to fast forward here to 6 a.m. Front comes through, gusty winds. We're talking gusts 30 to 35 out of the north. So it'll be breezy. Your Christmas decorations, if you already have them up, just know that they will be blowing around for a little bit. Winds will weaken and subside by Wednesday afternoon. And temperatures will be much different tomorrow. After hitting the 80s today, we'll be in the 60s tomorrow, high of 67 in San Antonio for a high. Then we look down the line and we get clouds on Friday. So this is where things start to change. We get some overrunning. It'll be cloudy, maybe a couple sprinkles. And then Saturday, we'll get some showers as an upper level low approaches. We'll get a front that comes into play Saturday into Sunday, sometime into Monday. Timing's still a little unclear there. But with this upper level low around, a front around, I think we're going to see some showers and storms and some cooler weather as we head into early next week. So just a heads up there. 68 for Thanksgiving looks good there. 62 Friday, cloudy, and then the rain chances Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Temperatures, as I said, will be a little tricky depending on when that front comes through. And then cooler yet as we get into next week. All right, our Just Ask Justin question this morning has to do with the NFL. Which NFL team has played the most Thanksgiving Day games? Is it Dallas, Green Bay, Chicago, or Detroit? Votes for all of them. Small lead, though, for Detroit. Go with your gut, Jeff.
I said Dallas earlier, but I'm like, shoot, did they play Dallas on Thanksgiving? Or they play Detroit on Thanksgiving? I don't know. I'm stumped. I say Dallas.
Dallas, good choice.
Is it
Good
wrong?
pick, good pick. Well, the answer is not the Dallas Cowboys. It's going to be the Detroit Lions, Jeff.
See,
But
you
great
know
guess.
what?
Great guess.
Did Dallas play Detroit one time?
They've played I'll let Justin answer the question.
Yeah, I think they have played before, but Detroit has played 85 times on Thanksgiving Day. Dallas coming in second with 57 appearances. Detroit has played on Thanksgiving every year since 1934, with the exception of a few years during World War II.
I guess. Thank you, Justin.
Go
All right.
Cowboys.
Y'all stick around. We got more after this.
Hey there, good morning. I'm Patty Santos. Wanted to give you an update on this crash involving a Via bus here at North Medina and Haven for Hope. You could see that they're working pretty quickly to remove the car that was crashed into, and also that pole that was right across the road. CPS just moving out of the way now. They are making pretty good progress in clearing this scene right. We know that there were some people on that Via bus, but they were not hurt. We know that there was also a person inside that car. We're waiting to find out more information on the condition of that person, but that is what the scene looks like right now. This is a very small stretch of North Medina between Haven for Hope and Frio that is impacted, so it should not be an impact to your commute this morning. We'll keep you updated on GMSA Plus.
All right, thank you very much, Patty. So things are in check in the downtown area. Let's give you an update on the northeast side. Major delays here, about an hour delay basically from Randolph all the way to Live Oak, Pat Booker, and Olympia Parkway. We'll continue to monitor the traffic on the northeast side. Justin?
All right, thank you, sir. It is 51 degrees outside, pretty chilly. We're going to see things warm up rapidly, though, today. 84 is where we end up, 76 noontime, but a high temperature of 84. And look for nice weather over Thanksgiving before active weather this week. We'll be back on GMSA Plus.